Connecticut, Mr. Larson. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And first and foremost, let me thank all the panelists, first and foremost, for your professionalism. Having served on this committee for a while, it gives me great pride to say how circumspect you are, especially in putting forward the facts because of your nonpartisanship and even resisting opportunities when they present themselves, but always being professional. That's a credit to the congressional process as well. Martin Luther King coined the phrase, the fierce urgency of now. And again, let me applaud the chairman because that's what's so important about this meeting, and that's what's so important about getting the facts. And here are the facts. The facts are we're in the worst global pandemic that we've witnessed since the world's creation. We also find ourselves in a situation where we're dealing with inflation. And that fierce urgency of now impacts people over the age of 65 more so than any other group. Of the 1.1 million who have perished in this country because of this pandemic, over 834,000 are over the age of 65. And people over the age of 65 are the ones who tend to be on fixed incomes, and people on fixed incomes are the ones that are most ravaged by inflation. And the congressional negligence that's taken place is there has been nothing done to enhance the benefits of the nation's #1 anti-poverty program, Social Security. Anti-poverty program for the elderly. Without Social Security, 40%, more than 40% of our current elderly population would be living below the poverty level, and yet Congress still does not act or vote. Social Security, as the chairman knows and people on this committee also, is the #1 anti-poverty program for children. And especially in lieu of the child tax credit and its need to come back and be put in effect, but child care, spousal care, and more veterans rely on Social Security disability. More than 350 separate groups have come out, and we intend, and John Fitzgerald Kennedy back in 1963 designated the month of May as the month that we should pay attention to our elders. It was later, he wasn't around long enough to see that transpire, but President Johnson put that into effect. It's important for a number of reasons that we put this information out there. We do have legislation on our side to put out there, and it should endure the test of public hearings, and like all ideas, should be debated side by each. We're waiting to see the legislation from the other side. And what is so encouraging about this is the desire of both the chairman and the chairman of the subcommittee to get to a solution. I dare say that the solution is something that is going to require just not protecting Social Security, but enhancing it. 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible. That, over the course of a year, is 3,650,000 new Social Security recipients. A lot has changed since 1971. A lot has changed even since 1983. But what hasn't changed is Congress's inability to take action. This is not anything the President of the United States can do through executive order or that the Supreme Court is going to act on. It's going to take Congress and this committee to do what it's elected by its constituents to do, and that is vote. I commend the chairman for starting and saying we need facts, and part of those facts is the human infrastructure, the very beneficiaries that we need to hear from and what they're going through and what they're enduring. They are your mother and father, your brothers and sisters. They are your churchgoers. They are your neighbors. This is what we're talking about. This is America's #1 insurance plan. This is the #1 committee to deal with it. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. Schweikert, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And